RETROSAURUS with Oli and Kev. Well, welcome to RETROSAURUS with
me, Oli,
and me, Kev. And this podcast talks about what is pop culture and what is flop culture. Today, we'll be looking at UK TV adverts from the 1980s. So whether you need a break and need a Kit Kat, or you wouldn't trade Castlemaine 4X for anything else, we've got it all for you here. Isn't that right, Ollie?
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be looking at all your favorite adverts, all those cereal ones, and whether you're turning into a honey monster from Sugar Puffs. You know, we're going to cover it all.
So, do you remember the Knorr creepy scarecrow advert?
I think I may have had some nightmares about it, yes.
You may remember it. A scarecrow comes in out of the rain to eat vegetable soup.
Yes.
And then the farmer goes out with his gun. And what happens is the scarecrow sort of slowly edges his way towards the farmhouse because he's dying to get a hold of the Knorr soup, right?
Yes.
And the slogan is, Knorr soup, so good you go Shluup.
The scarecrow looks like he is a vegetable, so I'm slightly confused by that. It seems to be an act of cannibalism that he's eating vegetable soup. And he himself has a carrot for a nose and all these other things. So no question. It makes it even scarier if you think about it.
But yeah, like what vegetable eats another vegetable?
Yeah,
it's really quite
right.
Shocking, isn't it?
It is. It's not helped
right.
By the fact that the soup, while they're trying to make it like look delicious, just looks like a plate of sick, unfortunately.
Scotch videotapes. Now, I don't know what you had. Did you have a VHS or a Betamax or
VHS? Yeah,
VHS.
All the way.
Betamax was a little bit before, and it was a bit more industrial than the old VHS. So if you had VHS, yeah, it was more expensive, I think, and you were super cool if you had it. So this one's for Scotch videotapes, and I think everybody would remember this if they were, around at the time. Scotch's lifetime guarantee. You've got the skeleton man and his bird in like an 80s yuppie apartment. It looked a bit like Max Headroom or something like that. And it said, every recording as good as the first, or we'll give you a new tape so you can watch Scotch forever. Right. And the slogan was, tape what you want both night and day and re-record, not fade away. Re-record, not fade away.
It's
re-record, not
very
fade
good.
away. Re-record, not... Stop that. I have a bone to pick with this, however.
Oh, nice. It's because of all the bones.
Well, it didn't... This thing about the lifetime guarantee, right?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
It's 2023 now. And I watched, because my mum kept the VHS tapes, by the way, saying that she would one day watch them all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we decided to watch one. It was incredible because it was the tape had clearly deteriorated over the years.
Yeah.
And it was really terrible.
Yeah.
And unbelievable to watch. So I imagine also at the time the quality was extremely poor. Piss poor, actually.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but there you go. That's what we used to have. You would record stuff off the telly, put those labels on them that you used to get, and there's like little numbers you used to stick on them. And also, they were another reason they were great was because people used to have like these banned videos.
Yeah.
Like the Clockwork Orange or something.
Oh, yeah.
There was always somebody in your village that had acquired a copy of the Clockwork Orange from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And it was circulating around. And that's the only way that people saw these films, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Or someone was bootlegging it. Someone actually had a camcorder in the back of a cinema and was recording something. You saw it on some dodgy tape and it was just terrible. To be or not to be? That is indeed a problem with a cigar of happiness. Do you remember these adverts, Kev?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Gregor Fisher, absolute legend. Rabsy Nesbitt, for those of you who don't know who he is, who's in a photo booth getting his photo taken, and he's got a comb over, and he looks like a right gormless git, quite frankly. And brilliant ad for cigars.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously smoking was very fine then. You can have all sorts of adverts and joke about the fact that, it can basically kill you.
Because it's totally illegal now, right?
Well, not illegal, but I mean, you don't tend to get those kind of adverts promoting smoking. I think you're right. I think maybe they are not legal because even if you did, you'd have to put a massive caveat because even all the smoking boxes have all sorts of warnings on them, don't they?
Yeah, but
So
even on
that's probably why.
billboards, I've not seen cigarettes
True.
advertised. I think it
The
is
Marlboro
illegal.
Man. I think you're potentially right, actually.
Yeah.
You're right to reduce it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, good, because it's a horrible habit
It
anyway.
is horrible. The advert was good. I like the music they're introducing. I like that idea, but not smoking a cigar. That's all.
Yeah, so right, but yeah, photo booths are a right pain in the arse in any case. And what they should do with those is they should do, you know how you get these people who sort of take custody of telephone boxes and sell books out of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they don't even sell the books out of them. They just eat hummus and recycle books from them or something like that, right? Or
yeah,
have some sort of hummus bar with homemade bread or some shit like that, right?
right.
Yeah, I think that's what they should do. They should, have some sort of thing like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be quite good. I mean, yeah, I think we'd all enjoy that.
Is happiness a cigar called Hamlet, though? I ask myself.
What sadness?
I suppose not having a cigar. Next up, Ollie, Old Spice, the mark of a man.
Basically, if you don't have Old Spice, you're not a man. That's basically what it's saying, isn't it?
I love this advert. It's got everything that you could possibly want.
Dramatic music.
In a fragrance. What is that music? It's
opera, isn't it? Like very dramatic for an aftershave.
Right.
For a cheap aftershave.
I can't remember what it is, but I remember it being on the Doors soundtrack.
Oh, okay, that's possible.
Sure it was. There was a bit where Jim Morrison was prancing around with a witch or something. Fuck. What else are you supposed to do in LA in the 70s?
Not much.
Yeah. Anyway, dramatic music, you're absolutely right. So there's like a hunky surfer and a woman. There's this sort of woman who looks like she's totally ganting for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of frothy spray.
Yeah, is that? Oh, yeah. I guess that must be the connection with the Old Spice. It was a bit of a random one because I'm guessing this surfer smells like the sea. Probably stinks.
Oh, he does. The mark of a man. Damn right. Damn right. Yeah. Try getting those stains out.
What do you think of this man as well? I wasn't that impressed by him.
If you want a whole load of frothy nonsense with a surfer, I think he's your man. She was loving it. She was loving it.
Oh, well, she was, but she's paid to be there, so.
I can't even remember what Old Spice smells like. Is it really rank or not?
I'm guessing it is, but I've never used it, and no one ever does these days. So.
No, of course they didn't. But there was a whole load of stuff in the 70s that was just as obscure. I remember there was one. There was one when I lived in France. There was one called Tabac.
Okay.
I don't know if you know it, and it was all sort of brown, the bottle, because it's supposed to look like tobacco or something like that.
Oh, that sounds great. So I just want you to know, Kev, that like the Murphys, I'm not bitter.
Yeah, that was like a total catchphrase for the whole decade. Yeah,
definitely.
The advert that we just watched was what was it, like a Irish
wedding going on,
right?
Yeah, and then the gentleman having his Murphy's just reminiscing the fact that he used to go out with a bride, basically,
who was not that good looking, by the way.
Oh, she was fine. She was fine, but then he was kind of dashing, wasn't he? Well,
he was not bad.
Yes, it's true. It's true. He's not He's not like, oh, that could have been me. But then obviously he sees the now husband being harassed by all the in-laws. He's like, oh, I'm glad I'm not out of that. I'm on the table with the bridesmaids, so I'm just going to have a pint of Murphy's, sleep with the bridesmaids.
Nasty mullet, that guy.
Yes.
But here's the thing: he says the catchphrase says, "I'm not bitter," because he didn't get married to the munter, right? And then he turns around and there's 3 munters sitting there.
Yeah, the bridesmaids were not great, I have to say.
They were worse than the bride.
That's true.
And the groom with that horrible mullet. What a fucking shit show.
I mean, obviously, for us, it would be very difficult because you have to have a number of Murphys. I wonder how many Murphys he had to convince himself that those bridesmaids were were acceptable in terms of
No,
the evening.
no,
I'm
he
not
had
sure.
that look about. He looked like if he was a dog, he'd be a whippet, and he had that look about him like he would sleep with anyone. Glade, shake and vac. How could you forget this one? Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and do the.
She can't sing, the woman in the advert, can she? I mean, that's terrible singing.
Yeah, she does look a bit like Julie Andrews from The Sound of Music.
Yeah. If Julie Andrews had maybe snorted too much shaken back.
She's got a bit of a phobia about her smelly dog and tobacco odor, I noticed.
Well, personally, if you're allowing your dog to smoke, then I think that's your own problem, really, isn't it? That's what's going to cause all those smells.
Prancing around and scattering white powder wherever you go, generally.
Well, it was the
80s. Theme here. Yeah. Yeah. But I just don't know why she doesn't just quit smoking and give the dog a bath.
That would have been nicer. That would have been easier.
Honestly, a bit of a dirty bitch, really, because, like what would they say about people that buy perfumes and stuff to cover up the stench?
Yeah.
So the Remington Fuzz Away. Do you remember that,
yes.
Ollie? Great. So essentially, it was like there was this guy called Victor Khayyam Remington, he's the inventor, and he's in the adverts.
Yeah,
not many people could say the same thing.
No, exactly. You never saw Edison in the thing about light bulbs, did you?
Right. And the slogan.
I never saw Henry Ford advertise a Ford.
No, although they should have. Why not?
Exactly,
maybe they were just really like not attractive. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, the slogan is shaves your clothes and saves money too. Well, not bad. Points for trying there. I think it was really successful, the Fuzz Away.
Oh, okay. In the UK as well? Was this in the UK?
Well, here's the thing. This advert that we just watched is one of the only American ones that we've watched. And it's so different, isn't it? I mean, apart from the accent and everything, the whole way they advertise is completely different. Like,
yes,
super low budget, first of all.
Yeah. 15 seconds as well. Quick.
Yeah.
Slow attention span.
And the Fuzz Away just sort of comes zooming up to the screen out of outer space because it's new technology.
Exactly. And the clothes fly out the closet as well.
That's even a bit more like something out of
Poltergeist.
Yeah, by Steven Spielberg. Yeah, he's looking in the closet and the clothes fly out by themselves. Don't throw away your clothes because they'll look worn. Use Remington Fuzz Away, but just don't use it on your balls or anyone else's for that matter. However, if you have a fluffy arse, be my guest. So, but I have a bone to pick with this, Ollie.
Okay.
So what you've got to do is shave your clothes.
Yes.
Right. That can't be good.
No.
How is that saving money?
Why is your hair and your clothes in need of a shave? I mean, if it's growing hair, I think you really do need to chuck it out, personally. Especially if it's like, this is the 80s, this is animal fur. People wearing animal fur. So if any of the animal fur was growing and needed a shave, if you had like badger fur and your beaver needed shaving, I mean, I just think it's a bad situation.
You make it sound like there's a bunch of people going around looking like Wurzel Gummidge or something like that. Is that what it is?
Well,
or that guy that runs IKEA, that wears secondhand clothes.
Yeah.
I bet he's got a Fuzz Away.
Well, I was going to say these days you really need that because ultimately now we're just in such an era of just waste and just buy something new from like Primark that's been sewn up by the child labor. I mean, well, what do you need the shave thing anymore? But maybe they should bring that back as an eco thing.
Oh my god!
Maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe it needs it's in due of a comeback. So we start shaving our clothes again.
Right. Well, and the other thing is like, what about all those? Right. If you're keeping all those clothes and recycling and shaving and whatever, I mean, the people at that shelter aren't going to get anything, are they?
I've never been to an ambassador's reception.
Oh yeah. Well, clearly we're talking about Ferrero Rocher. How could you forget? I mean, this is the definitive advert of the 80s, in my opinion.
It is. I have to say, I've only started eating Ferrero Rocher in the last 2 years. And if I was at a high-class reception and they brought those out now, knowing what they're like, I would be disappointed.
Just to fill our audience in, we're at an ambassador's party. All kinds of high class sort of 80s dynasty kind of people are there. Eurotrash. And in comes the butler with a perfect pyramid of Ferrero Rocher piled up on top of a tray like they've been glued there.
Yeah.
And the slogan is, it's Ferrero Rocher, a sign of good taste.
Well, what did you think of the accents and the language being used? Excelente, and what was the other one? And
delicious.
Oh, delicious.
Well, there is a story behind this. I don't know if you know it, but first of all, Ferrero comes from Turin in Italy.
Ah, okay.
And they're the same people that make Kinder, I think. And no, is it Kinder? No, that's German, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Kinder is German, yeah.
Nutella. That's what I meant. Nutella. And it's interesting because the Italian version of this is it's quite similar, but it's a totally different scenario. It's not this one. It's this sort of, again, 80s rich woman getting driven around in a limousine by her chauffeur, who's called Ambrose or Ambrosia or something like that.
Like the cream.
Right. And then I don't know how close they are, but and then she's like, something like, oh, Eccellente Ambrogio or something like that. Ambrogio or whatever his name is. So yeah, so it's really funny because Italians have never heard of this advert before, yet it clearly looks like it's been dubbed from a foreign language such as Italian into English. Definitely. Actually, even the scenery looks like it's been dubbed, and the actors look like they've been, physically dubbed.
You have to say that this has stood the test of time because everyone knows that reference. If someone brings out Ferrero Rochers, someone will at some point make some joking remark about the ambassadors.
And that unforgettable line, Monsieur, with this Rocher, you're really spoiling us. Like in the only way that a sort of high-class hooker could say it. Right.
But I mean, you can't argue with the advert, in terms of that. I mean,
well, I think you can.
10 seconds?
I think you can. I've got a list.
Carry on.
Well, it says the ambassadors' receptions are noted in society for their host's exquisite taste. Exquisite taste, I really don't think so, because I saw those chocolates in Lidl the other day.
Yeah, but that's now in the 80s. It was like gold dust.
Do you think it was like gold dust?
Do you think Ferrero Rochers are made, obviously, but maybe it's like truffles, maybe you need like a high class pig to go out and find the Ferrero Rocher, buried in the mountains somewhere.
That's quite a nice idea. Did you say a high class pig?
Yeah. They're the ones that look after the truffles, the high class pigs with a good nose.
Crazy and weird at the same time. Anyway, so yeah, and at the end she's like, oh, Monsieur, with this Rocher, you're really spoiling us. And the dubbing is so bad, it could have been a low-budget porn film called Nutty Golden Balls, which would have been a much better name, by the way.
What, for the whole thing or just for this advert?
For the company.
For the company.
The gay community would be in straight away.
That's true.
They would love it. They'd be lapping it up.
I think the gay community are already at the ambassador's residence. Locked away in some other room somewhere.
Really? Doing what?
All sorts of things. Coke, probably, given it's the 80s.
My goodness, how sordid. Just one cornetto, give it to me.
Oh, you wanted me to sing? Oh, sorry, Kev. That was never in a contract. I never agreed to that. Don't try and make me sing with my terrible voice. What are you trying to do to me?
Delicious ice cream of Italy.
Is it though? That's my question. Is it? Does it actually exist in Italy? Cornetto.
Well, there's one flaw in this plan is that Walls is actually called Algida or something in Italy.
Okay.
even though all the branding is the same, the company,
Right.
or it's like a franchise, is totally different. So all the ice cream you'll see is made by Algida or some
Does
shit
that
like
mean
that.
anything, or is it nothing? It means nothing.
Not that I know of. Whereas
Okay.
walls is like walls. Is that what you're getting
I
at?
don't know. I don't know. No, but I'm just wondering. Whether.
For those of you who have never been to Italy, this is exactly what Italy looks like every day, and it hasn't changed since this advert was made. And I'm not joking. Also,
Well,
the hairstyle of that
the
guy.
hairstyle,
But just
and the view of female-male relations hasn't
right.
changed.
Well, let's just fill our listeners in on what we've actually just witnessed here, which is a man on a gondola in Venice and a woman on another gondola. And the man singing Just One Cornetto snatches the ice cream from her hand, but we're led to believe that it's some sort of romantic chance meeting, right? To me, this is all a bit dodgy, this scenario. I just think that, there's a lot of bag snatchers, a lot of pickpockets.
Yeah, this is thievery
in these in these tourist areas. And you just got to watch what you're doing. And
I mean, we didn't even talk about the other Cornetto advert where a man steering a gondola himself steals an ice cream from a woman on a bridge.
Yeah,
and then
Italians can't live without Cornetto.
No, of course not. And then he licks it under the bridge and then gives it back to her. It's very odd, very strange.
Dirty bastard.
Yeah, there's something going on there. I mean, I would have chucked that ice cream away, but she seemed quite happy to have it back.
Yeah, she was acting a bit slutty though on that bridge, wasn't she? You know. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I would be.
If you want to shag a gondolier, why not?
Nicole?
Papa? What the fuck? What's going on here?
Who would have thought Renault Clio could be so classy?
What's the deal with this advert?
Well, why are they're both sneaking around from each other, but they're father and daughter, so they can do what the hell they like, and yet they
first
seem
of
to
all,
be hiding affairs.
Where are we in this?
France.
We're in France.
Somewhere in France, an old town in France.
In a posh villa with posh people, right?
The village, yeah.
Right.
He has a chauffeur who doesn't seem to do anything except get the cars out of the garage.
And so the concept is they both sneak off for engagements with, the father goes off for a sort of bit of nookie with some woman, and then she goes off for a bit of nookie with quite a hot guy, by the way.
Oh yeah, I would say so. But she goes off first, and then once he knows that she's gone, he goes, and then he must finish quicker because he's back before she is. So I mean, this old age, So yeah, but the thing is, obviously, you have a Renault and you can maneuver across the French streets very easily to get to your rendezvous.
Why don't they just be free and stop sneaking? What's all this fucking sneaking around?
Yeah, I don't really understand the sneaking around bit.
You know what it is? They're probably British actors pretending to be French, like in Hello.
That could be it.
And there was a lot of sneaking around in that.
Yeah,
and I think that's more of a British trait. Yeah. I think French people are quite happy just to leave their windows open and just walk around naked.
Yeah. I would say also this was probably the basic level of French that most English people have. Nicole, Papa, that's probably it, really. So baguette, croissant.
Yeah, but I think most British people would agree that French people love a bit of nookie.
Yes, they definitely have that perception, but not helped by the fact that most French prime ministers and presidents over time have had all sorts of affairs and it never seems to be an issue. Whereas in the UK, it's more of a scandal, isn't it? More of a scandal in the UK.
Yeah, like Sarkozy and stuff. I mean, he gets a model for a wife, and he's like the man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, would that happen in Britain?
No.
No. Usually they're really just horrible. Their wives.
Yeah. And husbands.
As are they. You know what? I say, if you're going to hire a prime minister, you're not going to hire Brad Pitt, are you? To be a prime minister. You want an ugly old man or woman to do it.
Given the UK's track record the last few years, maybe no reason why Brad Pitt couldn't do a good job.
Lord Buckethead's got a much
better than Liz Truss
manifesto.
A cabbage lasted longer than Liz Truss.
Fuck's sake. That's for another podcast, one that will last 10 hours. Right.
Again, longer than her political career as Prime Minister anyway.
Oh my God. Oh God. You had to get it in, didn't you? You had to.
Well, I had to live through it, Kev. Give us a break. My mortgage is suffering because of it.
That's true. While I was just driving my Renault Clio around Europe.
Exactly. Go, Nicole, Papa.
I'm not going off for nookie.
You're going off for some nookie.
Yeah.
As all British people assume that Europeans are doing.
Yeah, because I'm totally fake European, just
that's what Brexit was really all about. We don't want any of that stuff.
Yeah, holding waitresses in cupboards and going,
yeah. Oh God, don't do any of that. Disgusting, disgraceful.
Well, that's everything from RETROSAURUS tonight, and it's been a blast, I must say. What do you think, Ollie?
It's been great. I really enjoyed having a Murphy's Ale. I mean, I don't really like it, but I'm not bitter about it.
God, ale always makes me flatulent and then leads to sort of severe diarrhea.
You should really see a doctor about that,
Oh, fuck the doctor. I just put a wine cork up my arse. And on that note, think on, everybody, and we'll see you next time on RETROSAURUS, the mark of a man.